Hey everybody, Steve at Benford Guitars here. I'm going to talk to you today about the volute and why it's important and why I like to do them. So volutes are important to have on guitars that have headstocks that are angled back and are not constructed with a scarf joint. And a scarf joint is when you have two pieces or a piece of wood, you cut it at an angle and you flip over one piece, which creates the angle of the headstock. On a one-piece neck, you need to have a scarf joint to help reinforce that area. Otherwise, you risk the headstock snapping off under tension or if it takes an impact. That's why you see a lot of Epiphone and Gibson guitars that have that headstock snapped off if they take an impact. What I like to do is, whether I'm using a scarf joint or not, I like to do a volute. I just like that extra sense of stability there. I think they look really cool too, and I just enjoy doing them because it's all handwork and you get to use hand tools, which is cool. So these first four pictures are, completed ones that I've done, and so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of walk you through a slideshow of various photos and what I got going on. So this first picture is a shot of the back of the neck, and you can see the vertical line there where the point of the volute is. Really, there's nothing going on at this point other than I've created my peak, and I did that by using a oscillating tabletop belt sander. And the sander is turned on its side, and it's just a belt sander that oscillates up and down. You can get a really nice even radius there. Gotta have a delicate hand, but it makes quick work of that. I haven't found a better way to do that yet. Here's a shot. You can see the thickness of the neck to the right. It's still pretty rough and square, and then the headstock to the left. The headstock is pretty much at thickness, and so it's that little curve going up to the peak is not going to change, but we're gonna really work on the neck here. So what I want to do is I got to start profiling the neck first, and I have to remove a bunch of waste wood because I just don't want to try and sand all that because that'd create too much dust. So I use my bandsaw and I just carefully run it through, and you can see how I stop short of the volute there, and down at the other side where it joins the neck I stop short. And after we cover the volute, I'll show you how I sculpted that into the neck joint as well. So here I am on my tabletop belt sander. This isn't the oscillating one I was telling you about, but it's just a tabletop belt sander, and this is how I actually round over my necks. I just kind of go at it by hand, moving the neck, and helps having the old school Benford shirt there too. So here's a shot of the volute, still pretty boxy, haven't really started shaping it yet, and you can see how kind of close I got up to it with the bandsaw there. So now I've started laying out what material I want to remove, and there's one of the files in the background. I'll talk a little bit more about those come up here in a second. But what we're going to start doing is I'm just going to start holding the neck and then start to shape it. So I use a couple different files. Here's a file that's got a flat side and a round over side, coarse and mild teeth on it, and then there's a bigger long file that's real mild. And I'll clamp the neck upside down on the bench, and I'll just start kind of going at it with mostly the round side. And you can see here that I've sculpted away some of it, and I'm starting to get a little bit closer, and it's a lot of just doing it by eye and then going by feel and seeing what it's like. And then here's another shot from the other side of that same thing. The pencil mark, I still got to kind of work my way up to that, and I'll get a little bit closer. It was still a little bit too meaty right in that corner at this point. So here I've done that. I've worked up to my pencil line, rounded it over real nice, and started to sand it. The rest of the neck, you can notice that all the marks for the bandsaw are gone too, and I've really refined that a lot. So this is again just another angle just to kind of show you what it looks like, and it's a really strong neck. This neck is a one-piece neck, so it really needs a volute. Some of those other pictures that you saw earlier were multi-piece necks, and I really didn't need a volute there, but again, I just did it because they look cool. Here's yet another shot, really nice and smooth and comfortable. You really don't even feel it when you're back up there, but it does cradle kind of the inside of your hand if you start getting down in like an F chord or something like that. Nice shot of it there. So what we've got going on here coming up is just some almost finished picks. I still got a lot of finished sanding to do yet, but you get the general idea of what it looks like. See that little peak right there is rounded over just a little bit, so I'm going to sharpen that up some. And there I put a little bit of mineral spirits on it to help bring up the grain, and it also helps, I do that, it helps bring out the scratches and see any bigger gouges that I may have missed when I was sanding. And I don't think I really had that many there, but yeah, you never know. So here is a closer up shot of it. And then what I'm doing at this point is I'll just start refining the shape of the neck, making sure it's all nice and even and feels good. So now we're going to get into the heel portion of the guitar. This is down where the neck goes under the body, and this is actually going to bolt on. And you can see the line all the way to the right is where my neck joint is, and then I have a line that's inside that where I might carve up to, but I decided not to. I decided to go a little bit closer than that. So again, I used my oscillating spindle sander, or the belt sander, and made that initial round up to that point. And what I ended up doing is chasing it up to that outside line there when it came time to refine it, because I decided I didn't want as much of a shelf there. I just wanted it to go right into the neck joint, and I got pretty close with that. So here's the shot of the bandsaw, and you can kind of see how close I came up with that, just again removing waste wood. And this next shot coming up here shows the neck joint and what I'm dealing with there, and then how blocky it is around there. And obviously that's not going to be comfortable because I got a really nice all access neck joint. This is kind of a offset dual cutaway, not a Strad, not a PRS, kind of a hybrid in between. Now you can see all the wood that I've got there and all the handwork and shaping that I've got to do left on that. And this is the fun part. This and the volutes are when I get to do those, that's the funnest part. So here's the oscillating spindle sander, and I'm just hogging off some extra wood there that it would take too long to shape with the file. And so I'll get it in the neighborhood of what I want. So here it is. I got it pretty close, and then this is after some filing, and you can see I've got, it's close to that line, but I still got a little bit of refining to do on that, and that's where a lot of patience comes in. You can see the file marks there, and that's just a matter of using that round over file and knocking those corners off and keeping the file moving. That's really the key, is you can't just sit there and file in one mark because you'll file a big groove in there. So here it is, pretty close. On the outer sides where the neck meets the body, I'm going to bring that in just a little bit more, and I still have to do all my final sanding on really everything, especially that neck joint, because that's roughed out as well. Here's kind of a side shot of that and what's going on there. It's really, really comfortable. You can get easy access to the upper frets and still be alright with that. So here's winding it up. Here's some shots of it with the mineral spirits on it, just again looking for scratches, and it helps really add a lot of contrast to it so you can see what's going on. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and this one final shot of the neck joint. This is going to be a really cool guitar. It's heading over to a good customer of mine over in Japan, and we'll talk more about that coming up. Thanks.